So, if you've ever lived in a place with a homeowners association, you know they've got rules. A lot of them. But what happens when the HOA itself just stops following the most basic rule of all? Well, today we're diving into the incredible true story of one homeowner who decided he was going to find out.
I mean, it's a really frustrating question, right? You're paying your dues, you're following all the bylaws about your lawn and your mailbox, but when you need something from them, all you get is silence. For one homeowner, this wasn't just a hypothetical problem. It turned into a years-long fight.
And this is our guy, Jerry Wheeler. Now, he wasn't asking for the moon here. He wasn't trying to build some crazy addition or paint his house neon green. All he wanted was for his HOA to hold a meeting. Just one annual meeting. But getting them to do that, well, that turned out to be a whole other story.
So let's set the scene. It's April 2014, and Jerry moves into his new home. A year goes by, no annual meeting. Okay. Another year, 2016 rolls around. Still nothing. By 2017, after almost 3 years of total silence and zero transparency, he just realized, hey, if I want answers, I'm going to have to force the issue myself.
The entire conflict, the whole reason for this fight, really boiled down to one simple thing: those missing meetings. And this wasn't just about what was nice or convenient, it was literally about the law.
And here's the thing, the law on this, it is crystal clear. Arizona state law says an HOA must hold a meeting for its members at least once a year. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a fundamental rule of how these things are supposed to run, and the Beaver Dam Estates HOA just wasn't doing it.
So after getting absolutely nowhere for years, Jerry Wheeler decided it was time to stop asking nicely. He was ready to take formal, legal action.
And this right here, this is the moment things got real. This wasn't just another email or a phone call that could be ignored. This was an official petition filed with the state. You can see his name right there, Jerry Wheeler, the petitioner, formally accusing his HOA of breaking the law.
And you know what? At first, it seemed like this worked. The HOA president, a man named Randy Hawk, he actually responded. He agreed to hold the meeting. He even set a date for it. It looked like the problem was finally going to get solved. But just when it looked like things were heading for a simple resolution, the story takes this completely unexpected and honestly tragic turn that threw everything right back into chaos. Before that rescheduled meeting could even happen, President Randy Hawk sadly passed away. Now, first and foremost, that's a human tragedy. But from a legal perspective, it created a huge new problem. The one person from the HOA who had actually responded to the case was now gone. So the court was notified about what happened. The judge issued a formal order saying, okay, HOA, you need to name a new person to represent you in this case. That official order was sent to the HOA's address, and then just crickets, complete radio silence. The entire organization just ghosted the court.
And all of this leads to the climax of the story. The big day in court. The official hearing date where one side of the room was going to be very, very empty. So September 5th, 2017, the day of the hearing finally arrives. Jerry Wheeler shows up totally prepared to present his case. But on the other side of the room where the HOA's representative was supposed to be sitting, just an empty chair. And these are the words right from the judge's final decision. It's so simple and factual, but man, it speaks volumes. Respondent failed to appear. After years of no meetings, the HOA didn't even show up for the one meeting they absolutely could not miss. And listen, this wasn't just a case of them running a few minutes late. The judge actually waited a full 20-minute grace period. That's standard procedure, to give them every chance to show. But no one came. No one called. The HOA was a total no-show. So at that point, the judge had to move on without them.
So, with only one person in the room to offer any evidence, the judge's path forward became pretty darn clear, and it led to a very powerful and definitive ruling.
The judge's decision came down to this key legal phrase, uncontroverted evidence. All that means is evidence that wasn't challenged or disputed. Because the HOA didn't show up to argue, everything Jerry Wheeler presented, his timeline, his testimony, was just accepted as fact. There was no one there to say otherwise. And with that, the judge laid down the law. The final order had 3 very clear commands. Number 1, the HOA must hold that annual meeting. Number 2, they had to pay Mr. Wheeler back for his court filing fee. And number 3, they had to pay a $250 penalty to the state for breaking the law in the first place.
So, okay, a single homeowner won his case. What's the big takeaway here? What does this one fight by one person really mean in the grand scheme of things?
Well, this story is just this perfect example of what can happen when one person stands their ground. It proves that a single resident can use the system to hold an entire organization accountable. It shows that those HOA rules and state laws, they aren't just suggestions, they have real teeth. It's a huge reminder that for any community to work, the people in charge have to be transparent, and they have to show up.
This one sentence from the final ruling really says it all. The undisputed evidence proved the violation. All of Jerry Wheeler's effort, all that frustration, his determination, it was all validated right here. In this one powerful legal sentence, it was a clear victory for a homeowner who just wanted his HOA to play by the rules.
And that really brings us back to you, doesn't it? Jerry Wheeler's story is a playbook for what to do when community leadership fails, but also a testament to how the system can work. It leaves us all with a pretty important question. Do you know if your own community leaders are following the rules, and what would you do if they weren't?